It's time for networking. All right, I'm going to show you how to bypass a file blocking profile using base64 encoding. All right, so if we take a look at my policies real quick, under security, I'm focused on my inside out. All right, so if I take a look at this and dig into the actions tab, we will see that my file blocking profile is block PDF, right? Block PDF, okay, awesome. What is that? I go to objects, file blocking, block PDF. Actually, we could see it here, but you can look at it here as well. So this first instance, any application, file type PDF, upload, block. Then I have an alert for any application, any file type, direction both, and I'm going to alert. All right. So that's assigned. Awesome. Everything should be working as planned. So I am going to run a PCAP real quick because we want to see this in the flow. As soon as I get this up and running, remind me later because I don't care. Open Ethernet, done. Open up Chrome. Go to, I'm going to do two different sites for this. drive.google.com. All right, as soon as it comes up, I'm going to say new file upload. I'm going to use this test1.pdf. And you'll see here that it is attempting to do an upload, but it is getting blocked. All right, so that's pretty clear indication that it's not going to go through. After a while, it will eventually time out. I don't want to sit and wait on it, so I'm going to cancel it. Stop. Cool. Now I'm going to close this out. Open it back up. I'm going to go to, not lined up, I can't see the keyboard, dropbox.com. As soon as that comes up, I'm going to attempt to do an upload here as well. Upload files, test1. Yep, it's cool, whatever. All right, and this one gives me an indication pretty quickly, unable to upload, right? Awesome. So I'm going to close that down. Now I'm going to go into the Palo, and I'm going to go to monitor, and I'm going to look at data filtering, and I want to see these two blocks, right? So I see them right here. Actually, I have this one, the put block returning token auth, right? You can see right here, that's the Dropbox upload attempt, and it was denied, right? Then, let me go ahead and push forward on this and see if I get anything else out of it. So we got client model 5. I mean, that might be it. I doubt it. Like, it should be... Actually, maybe this is it down here. What is this? 126? Yeah, I'm way off in my logging. All right, so here's all the attempts by drive.google.com to upload this file. Failing. PDF, right? Up here, Dropbox, PDF. Cool, I see it. I know what to search on. I have my file name, test1.pdf. And up here, put block returning token auth. So I'm going to copy that, because that's a weird file name. It's not the actual name of the file. All right, cool. So I'm going to come out of the Palo, back to Wireshark, and I want to have a look. So I'm going to look for I'm going to look in HTTP2 contains that name for the Dropbox file. And I got two flows here, right? So I look down in, well, it's actually two packets. If I look down in the information here, I can see there was a response. This is actually a response, so it's coming from the server, 162.125.66, right? But it's not actually coming from the server. This is a response from my firewall. Transfer a file you were trying to download or upload has been blocked in accordance with company policy. Please contact your system administrator. Yeah, whatever. So it's a response from my firewall. Awesome. All right, so let's see here. If I follow this TCP flow, what do I get? All right, so I'm looking for that actual file name in a post, and there it is, right below. And here are the different streams of data that are being transmitted, right? So the file name for this, in this case, is actually established by using a portion, or actually using the entire URI path, put block returning token auth, unauth, right? So method is post, there's the authority or the host name that it's going to, right? Pretty cool. And then here's the actual data that flows. And so the interesting thing with Dropbox is that it sends raw data. It does not use any sort of identifiable information like MIME to identify the type player, right? If you look down here in the data stream, it starts out with the preamble of the file itself, which is that typical PDF-1, right? So it's raw octet. If I copy this into printable text and put it into Notepad, you can see more of what I'm talking about here. So this is the information that cannot be decoded because it's actual binary information that is not represented by text, right? But there's a lot of information that is, and one of them is the preamble of the file to identify the application type, right? So that's pretty cool. So I have to assume that the Palo is identifying this file trying to be transmitted by using this information to know that it's actually the file that's being transmitted, right? So I'm going to close that out. Don't save. Cool. Next, I'm going to try to match on the Dropbox, or the drive.google.com instance, right? So I'm going to search on that. HTTP2 contains, and this time I'm going to use the file name because we have the file name, right? test1.pdf. Close it out. Open it up. We got quite a bit more information here, but we did have several instances of it trying to transmit this data, right? And it just continually tried and tried and tried. And if we look here to see what we have in the information, we can see right here that we do identify the file name. And we identify this actual bit of data as MIME data, so multi-purpose internet mail extension. So it identifies the type, which is application, and the player, which is PDF. All right, so if I follow this stream and I dig in and try to find the actual post event, I can see right here. So this is typical when you're doing a file upload. You'll see this. It's a post or a put. And from what I know, a put is usually like there is an entity that exists out there and you're trying to override it or add to it, whereas post is like a brand new post. So anytime you're doing like chat or anything like that, it's going to be a post. If you're uploading a new version of the same file that exists there already, then that could be a put. All right, well, anyway, so this is the post to the actual URI path and the parameter that follows as well. A lot of information here, but anyway, this is the action to say, you know, the HTTP method, which is going to be post, and then it's followed by data. And so if we look at the data, and I'm actually going to take this and copy it, printable text, and I'm going to put it into Notepad. Type for me, please. All right, paste it in, and we take a look. Right here, it tells you the title of the file. It identifies it as MIME type, so it's going to be application is going to be PDF, so type and player. Then it says down here, content transfer encoding, base64, content type, application PDF. Then it transmits in base64, right? Very interesting. So if you don't know about base64, basically what it does is it takes an octet stream. Let's say you have a string of characters that are encoded in UTF-8. ASCII, whatever, you know, they both match up the same, but you have printable text, right? And you take that, and each character is represented by 8 bits, right? Well, with base64, what you do is you take that string of characters and take the binary values of each of the characters, put it all together, and chop it up into 6-bit increments. Then you go to a base64 table, and it identifies a letter, uppercase or lowercase uppercase, a number, a forward slash, and a plus sign. These are the different values that are allowed per base64, right? So it'll assign that value based on that 6-bit value that you get, you know, 0 to 63, right? So that's pretty cool. And the thing is like once you encode that in base64 and you go to transmit it over a protocol that is looking for, let's say, ASCII-based information in printable text, it's going to take that base64 value and transmit it as an 8-bit ASCII character. So it completely manipulates the data stream, the bit stream. The entire binary value of the file changes, and you have to have a base64 decoder to pull it back out. All right, so now I'm going to take this file that I was denied uploading. All right, I'm going to go ahead and start this again. Continue without saving. Get rid of that TCP stream filter. Good to go. I'm going to open up command prompt. Actually, let me do it. Run as administrator. Make sure I don't run into permissions issues. CMD, right click, run as administrator. Yes. Let's go cd c, cd c. There we go. cd users domain.admin desktop. And let's do encoders, I think is the file, or the directory. So I'll do a dir, take a look and see what I got here. All right, so I have my test1.pdf file, and I also have this application called base64exe. So I'm going to use that to encode this into base64. So b64-e for encode test1.pdf. I'm going to make it, let's make it b64.pdf. Whatever, doesn't matter. And actually I need to put in a greater than sign so that this is actually transferring the data to a file and not outputting it on my screen, which would be a disaster. All right, so we get that encoded. Awesome. I'll take a look at the directory. Let's see, encoders. All right, and we have a base64 PDF right here, right? And so if I open that, I'm just going to try to open it in PDF, and I can't see how it would ever be able to do that. But anyway, let me try to open it with Genie, a text editor, right? So once it opens up, you can see this is the encoded file. And if you remember from drive.google.com, when it encodes in base64, the preamble, the PDF, or the %sign PDF looks like this. So it's exactly the same as the information would be transmitted over drive.google.com, right? Awesome. Well, I'm going to close that. I have my PCAP running. I'm starting all fresh. I'm going to first go to drive.google.com. When it comes up, I'm going to say new file upload. I'm going to add that base64.pdf. And boom, it uploaded, right? Cool. It's exactly what I wanted. If I take a look here, you can see it just looks like a string of text, right? Which is fine. And the point of this too with the .pdf is I wanted to show you this whole old antiquated way of getting around security by changing file extensions is just garbage. It doesn't work like that anymore, right? So it's actually reading other information. But what I can tell is that it appears that the Palo is not reading and decoding base64 information, because Google Drive, in its inherent state of operation, encodes in base64. So the Palo is not looking at that. It can only be looking at the multipurpose internet mail extensions information contained within, right? And so it has to know the type in the application, or the type in the player. So application PDF, and that must be where it's reading it from. So it's relying on the browser to identify what the file is. All right, cool. So that's done. I'm going to close this down. Now I'm going to go to Dropbox. All right, as soon as it comes up, everything's good to go. I'm going to go ahead and go straight to upload files. And I'm going to upload b64.pdf. All right, and good to go. We have a successful upload. Awesome. So I'm going to close that down. All right, so now I'm going to come back to Wireshark. I'm going to stop this capture. And I'm going to do my HTTP2 searches again using the same filter that I put in. So put block returning token auth. Let's look for that. All right, so we don't have anything there. Let me think about this for a minute. Let me try. Let me try searching for the file information. Let me see if I can get something out of that. So if I open this up, my goodness, my mouse is making me angry. Open with Genie. I'm going to take this first bit of information which I know is the preamble of the file encoded in base64. I'm going to copy that, come back here, and I'm going to do a search on that piece of information. I don't care. Let's put it in there, paste, and then get rid of that T that wanted to hang out forever. All right, so we have something here. Look at that. So that's the start of the file in the transfer. So I'm going to take this, and I am going to follow TCP stream, get out of here, and we can see right there's the post. Even though it didn't come up when the search, I don't know why it didn't, because it's the same information. Anyway, it's just one of them annoying things that happens. But anyway, here's all the data, right, that got transmitted. And I should be able to see reassembled in 7669. So 7669 is the final transmission of all the data. You should be able to see it, or it should bring it all together. Here, there's 32,330 bytes. So that's another thing to think about too. Whenever you encode something in base64 and transmit it, you're adding 2 more bits to every character because it was encoded in base64 using 6 bits. But when it transmits, it's going over as ASCII or UTF-8, and it's 8 bits now, right? And so you're effectively raising the file size by 33%, where it was 6 and now it's 8. So that's kind of interesting, right? But anyway, so the point of this is, here's the data flow. And if you look at the start of the data, before well, the way that Dropbox works is it transmits raw data, right? And so it got actual characters because of the base64 encoding. That's what it sent, right? So that's raw data for Dropbox as far as it's concerned. All right, cool. Now let's take a look and see if we can find our Test 1 PDF for Google Drive. And we have some data here. Looks cool. Let's see what this is. What did we actually land on here? That's actually going to Google or to Dropbox. So that's not going to help me out at all. Let me see here. What else can I do? Let me get rid of the PDF. Actually, what am I doing? It's not Test 1 PDF. My bad. I renamed it. That's funny. base64.pdf. Okay, that's so much better. All right, so we have our Google IP address, 172.217's dead giveaway. I'm going to take this with the longest bit match or longest amount of bytes associated. I don't know if it's bytes or bits. I'd have to take a look at it. Length. Looks like bytes. Anyway, TCP stream. It's kind of weird because I know my MTU is 1500, so I'm not going to be transmitting 2800 bytes. Anyway, cool. I'm going to close that down, and I'm going to take a look here. And here's my method post, upload drive, v2 internal files, right? That's your upload to drive.google.com, and here is my data. Now, when I take a look at this time, right, I will pull it out as printable text, and I will overwrite all this garbage because I don't need it anymore. All right, so here is how mine reacted in this case, right? And so that is really interesting. So if you look at this, right? So base64.pdf, it still identifies it as type application player PDF. That is super interesting. Encoded in base64 and content type application PDF. So maybe, just maybe, the Palo is able to decode base64 a little bit. Okay, and so what I think here is that the MIME information is identifying that the application is PDF, and it's saying it's encoded in base64, right? And so the Palo maybe does decode base64 once to read the preamble of the file and tell that it is in fact a PDF file. But in this case, whenever it decodes it, saying it's base64 decode, it gets another base64 file, right? So it can't read that. So maybe it only decodes once and not 2 times. Anyway, point of it is it got through, right? We know for a fact that it did. All right, so if I go back into monitor data filtering and I do another search here real quick, I just want to take a look. So you can see here, let's see, this was 1553. That was a while ago. Okay, so that was the first go of this, and I don't know why I put everything in there. Let me erase all that. Come back out because we want to see everything that's going through. All right, and so there was the deny for Dropbox.com, right? Pretty interesting. If I take a look here and look for that to be logged again for the file that got through, I have no log. It did not recognize that as a file whatsoever. I don't know if it included it as just general HTTP data being transferred or what, but that's kind of interesting. And then in the case of Google Drive, if we go back to the PCAP and take a look, we know it's 172.217.5, let's just say 5.238, right? And we come back here, so there's 5.238, right? So that's the actual IP address it was being transferred to, right? We look at the information, it says, oh, it's a gzip file. And it says, oh, no, it's an unknown binary file. It doesn't know. It has no idea, like, what it is, right? You can't pick out what it is, right? So that's interesting. I just want to point that out. Using base64 to encode a file, you can get it through file blocking profiles. So be aware of that. And that's it. Thank you for watching.